are. Listen, guys, listeners at home, you wabeens. Listen up, you wabeens. What was it? Listen up, you worms.
Yeah. Listen, you worms.
Listen,
listen
here,
familiar.
you worms.
Yeah.
Something. Somebody who remembers, let us know. We almost had an oopsie poopsie today.
We did.
So, like, the first thing I see from Macy is a voice note, and she's like, hey, you want to hear some shit? And, the way that we keep track of these, you know, typically the episode is named something like Buttholes and Buttholes, episode 135.
Yes.
And we have before screwed that number up because we're humans. And it's hard to count
I think
sometimes.
that the number today is not right. I don't think our episodes are numbered correct.
It's also a little confusing. So, like, behind the scenes, when you go to our hosting, our podcast host, there's more than what we've put out. Like, we have episodes that are unpublished for whatever reason, you know, or episodes that we only put up on Patreon, you know, just whatever. So sometimes those accidentally get thrown in the count. And this was we almost missed a spooky-sode, guys.
Yes.
Sort of.
Because if you've been paying attention, I mean, really, if we were following it weekly, maybe we call this one something cheeky, like 249.5 or something.
Yeah.
But when we released the first episode of Simply Captivating, I counted that as an episode whichever one of us uploaded it, like, kind of just counted it in the rotation, even though it wasn't an episode and it wasn't in replacement of an episode. It's just like a bonus thing. So it's actually, this is episode 249. So
yeah, and they've been jacked off for a little while, but we'll go back and I can go back and fix those today. One of us will go back and fix that. Long story short, next week, strap in for the first spooky zone it feels like we've had in a while. Yeah,
I think since Christmas, or
wow,
maybe since Christmas. That can't be right.
That can't be true. Unless maybe we did skip one entirely. Who knows? It's entirely possible.
We almost did it this time.
Welcome to the Witch Bitch Amateur Hour, the podcast about witchcraft. My name is Charlye, and I'm just a girl standing in front of another girl, asking her to talk about witchcraft. This is my cousin Macy.
My name is Macy, and odds are, if you go outside and call my name really loud into the winds, I won't hear it.
But wouldn't it be creepy if you did? Like, after this episode
just a chorus
airs,
of just like, Macy! Oh, so scary. Big scary. Don't like it.
Do you remember? Okay, I gotta tell you my train of thought here. I was like, well, what if we set up a time for everyone to go outside and yell Macy? I wonder what would happen. But then I got to thinking, do you remember? You actually might be too young, but when we rolled from 99 to 2000, Nickelodeon, I think, did something, and they gave it some name, but basically they wanted you to fill up a paper bag with air and go outside, and when the clock struck 0 and we flipped over, to pop it. You know, you pop a paper bag, right?
Okay.
And it was supposed to be like this thing that everyone could, just this little fun activity for the kids, you know, to do at the same time. I guess to see if you could hear other people doing it. I don't know, but do you remember that?
No.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I would have been...
You would have been
6
5.
Or like 5. Yeah, I would have been like right on that border there. I don't really know how that math would work because I'm born in January. I could figure it out if I thought about it, but I'm not going to think about it.
No, think about it. Who cares? It's over. It's in the past. You never have to think about it again. I distinctly remember being sweating, scared, because, you know, it was Y2K. The world was about to end. And I was very freaked out. And I remember Mama and Papa were over. And it was only like a couple of minutes till. And I was getting more and more nervous as the time got closer. And then it just dawned on me. And I feel like I formed a brain wrinkle in this moment. several other places have already had their New Year's.
Yes.
Like, if shit was going down, why would it be Central Standard Time?
Yes.
You know? And all my fear washed away, and I ran to the kitchen and grabbed a paper bag and ran outside.
Cute. I'm glad that you got to join in on the festivities with your fellow children brethren instead of being worried about the end of the world.
Yeah. I'm constantly worried about the end of the world. But
hey, especially young child me, I expected it at any fucking moment.
Any moment. And I've seen a lot of people actually, this thing is going around where people are like, I've seen other people like commiserating with that, being like, I felt this way too, especially in a religious context. Because, you know,
I expected the rapture to happen at any second. I assumed I wasn't going, and that I'd get pelted to death until the skin boiled off my flesh from burning hot asteroids, which is what we were told.
The rapture is a scary, scary thing. When I first had it explained to me, it was by a Southern Baptist, so prepare. But they told me that God was building a machine that encapsulated the earth, and that he was going to use to take everyone. And that is the weirdest way I have ever heard it explained.
That's like some Rick and Morty shit. That's
I was thinking of like Invader Zim when they get like
that pastor was a secret sci-fi nerd.
Wow. But I've seen people be like, they had a sense of comfort when they realized in the Bible it says like nobody's going to be able to predict it, right? And I was in that group. Because when I heard that was in the Bible, that's like, I forget the actual, like, saying or whatever, but who cares? It's like no one can predict when it's whenever somebody says it's going to be, that's not when only God's going to know. And that brought me so much comfort because I was like, okay, whenever I see these billboards that have an exact date, because that's a thing here. Is that a thing everywhere?
Yes.
Wow. Where they're just like, prepare, this is the end of the world. It would scare the shit out of me. Butthole would fall out. And from that point on, I never, ever was scared of it again. Because I was like, you don't know. You're not allowed to predict it.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Because automatically you're wrong. Yeah, I never really heard that. I just tried my best not to think about it as much as possible. Except for when I had to go and hear about it. And between the rapture and 2012 and the day after tomorrow and just about any other thing you could think of, I was assuming at any... or the scene in Terminator 2. That had me scared. I expected a nuclear blast to wipe me out at any second.
Scene.
It is so scary, dude. So, I mean, it was like, no, I mean, like, instead of like, this is the kind of kid I was. Like, I remember being on the swings and, like, the playground as a kid, young, wonderful kid. It's like, you're a child. What should you be worrying about? Me as a child, as, like, 8, I was worried about a wave of nuclear energy disintegrating all of us at any second.
Wow. On that note, I think we should dedicate this episode to our Patreon. This is the Patreon shout-out segment. I don't know why the apocalypse talk made me think of this, but today, this world-ending episode goes to...
Wow.
Yeah. Claire H.
Okay.
Sing a song about the end of the world. Sing that fucking Aerosmith song about the asteroid. I don't want to close my eyes.
Okay. I don't want to close my eyes. I don't want to fall asleep 'cause I miss you, babe. And I don't want to miss Claire H.
Aww. That's so sweet. I also thought you were going to say, I don't want to close my Claire. And I was like, Okay, so episode 249.5. What are we talking about? Also, that means we're about to hit 250. How do you feel about that?
I know, that's half of 500.
Wow.
I don't know how to feel about it. It surprised me. I was like, what are we, episode like 220? Because that was kind of what I was looking up this morning. Because I was like, I know we're like close-ish to a spooky. So let me see how close. 250! Like, yeah. I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that at all.
So what are we talking about this momentous almost 250, almost 250 episodes?
Almost 250 episodes. Whoa, yuck. I thought it had been a minute since I'd talked about a plant, a house plant. So I'm talking about a pothos. Pothos plants today. You know them. Even if you don't know that you know them, believe me, you know them.
Yeah, you do. Oh, I love those little bastards. I'm also talking about a plant, more so like a dried herb type, but I guess an alive plant too. I'm going to tell you about deer's tongue.
Cute.
I want to talk to you about deer's tongue, aka, well, I guess not aka, but it is, the actual name is Liatris odoratissima. That's, let me spell it for you. Liatris space odoratissima, aka vanilla plant.
Cute.
It's not vanilla, but if you crush it or bruise it, it smells like vanilla. Let's see. Nice. Also, aka button snake root.
Okay.
AKA fragrant blazing star.
That's badass.
Yeah, right. AKA vanilla gay feather, which I love.
That's fabulous. Big fan of that.
AKA fragrant gay feather. Wow. AKA fragrant blazing star gay feather.
That's the one. I want that on my name tag. Thank you, please, very much.
And lastly, vanilla puff, which is what I'll take on my name tag.
Oh, cute. Vanilla puff.
Vanilla puff. So, sorry, this is a perennial plant, and it belongs to none other than the Asteraceae family. You'd think after 250 episodes, I would say that correctly. It is native.
Okay. Wait, Asteraceae? Is that the one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Asteraceae. Yeah. It is native to the Florida-Georgia line. Well, it's native to the southeastern regions of the U.S., particularly
just
Florida.
Slip that in casually and expect me to not say anything without saying it's native to the Florida-Georgia line. Get out of town with that. Okay.
Yeah. It's native to the southeast U.S., particularly Florida and Georgia. It likes a dry, sandy soil, and it's like kind of, humid. It's that Florida, Georgia thing.
Yeah.
Now, the name has some, the name is always interesting, especially the scientific names here. So the genus name, Liatris, comes from liatron, which sometimes words sound too mechanical for me.
Yeah,
you know
that
what I mean?
Sounds. Yeah, that
liatron.
Does.
Also,
that's like what is it in the Bible? The angel Metatron.
I was just about to say that there's a
like the
Giga Chad,
the mouth of God or whatever it is. Metatron.
Metatron. You can't tell me that that's not a fucking transformer. I am going to turn into an angel now. So anyway, the Greek word liatron, it means scale. And okay, sidebar.
I forgot about that. I'm sorry. I forgot about that whole voting thing.
Yeah.
I forgot about that whole Transformers bullshit.
Did we talk about that?
I don't know.
Or did I just tell you about it? I don't know. For one of the Transformers movies, they did that stupid idea of letting people create their own answers for a poll, and they were like,
never do that.
Never do that. They were like, whatever is the winning vote, like for a line, we'll add this line into the movie, and the winning line for Optimus Prime to say is, I am going to turn into a truck now. And they nixed it, because of course.
That's so stupid, because that would have been
great.
A rallying moment. Way to get everybody to come see it, because everybody's going to want to know where you stuck that stupid fucking line.
How they did
and
it.
There's going to be cheers.
Everyone's going to cheer.
Across the
uproar.
Country.
Yeah. God damn it, it's crazy how much better at this we are than they are. Anyway.
Fucking Michael Bay. Good grief.
Michael I forgot about. Okay, so Liatris means scale or balance, and this probably has to do with the little flowers. These are little tiny small flowers that are like kind of spiky on they're like little spikes on a cylinder. You know what I mean? So it's like a spiky cattail, and it's eye catching. Oh. But let's see, the species name odoratissima comes from the Latin word odor.
Who knew?
Meaning smell or scent.
Right.
And the reason that it's given this is because it is very, like we talked about, vanilla-y. So sorry. Yeah, it's very vanilla-y. It puts off quite the odor. And that was the thing that they first noticed about it. And then it kind of picked up the name deer tongue because it looks like a deer tongue.
Deer have weird tongues and like weird cheeks. Their mouths are weird.
It is off-putting to me when there's like a shot of a deer and it's doing that like sideways mouth chew thing.
Have you seen, that picture of that deer that's eating an apple slice? I think it's eating an apple slice and you can see all of its little wigglies in its mouth. Little fingies.
Gross. I'm going to Google deer's tongue and then apple slice.
It's like if I recall correctly, it's like their cheeks too. It's like the insides of their cheeks are also squiggly. Like that, but I don't remember. But yeah, little fingies.
Gross. Okay, not finding it, just finding a bunch of really derpy pictures of deer, which is always fun. But so yeah, it was called deer tongue because the plant itself looks like a deer tongue. The history, there is a rich background to this plant in the native North American indigenous tribes, especially the Cherokee and the Creek people, highly valued for its smell. Of course, anything with a pungent smell, good or bad, seems to have a strong place with humans, just because it makes that impression. Like, smell is a very strong scent for us, and that's how we get shit that stinks, but we still use the hell out of it, like, what is it, valerian? What's the stinky foot one? Valerian? Anyway. Dumb.
Yeah, it is.
God damn. The traditional use for the plant is to add it as a flavoring agent. So teas and soups and foods. However, it does have a place in traditional medicine for coughs, sore throats, digestive issues, any kind of like esophagus, kind of not feely good thing. I didn't see that it had any kind of slippery essence, like a marshmallow or a slippery elm or anything like echinacea. That. Yeah, I didn't see that it had any kind of mucus, but it seems to be used a lot in the same way as a lot of those plants. It's kind of like a breathing, any kind of soft tissue upset you have, it seems to be good for. And then, of course, people would just hang it in their house to make like potpourri and carry it on their body to smell good. And as the place that I got the source material here, as they put it, early European explorers came and documented the plant's usage. When the white people showed up, they stole it, and they wrote books about it. And they were like,
exploring.
Look
it was
what
just some casual adventuring. Had
look
no
what we
dire
found.
Consequences.
Yeah. It said it led to the eventual inclusion in botanical literature. So, okay. Anyway, a big use of this plant, and still today, is within smoking blends. These are super aromatic leaves that are incorporated into smoking blends that can be tobacco blends or your herbal blends. It enhances your smoking experience, as like an old cigarette commercial would say. You know what bothers me as an ex-smoker? When you see those old ads for cigarettes and they're like, nobody has the taste like Marlboro, or like they talk about the taste or get the unfiltered flavor or whatever. Highly delicious flavor. I don't know if I've ever smoked for the flavor. I don't think anyone has ever smoked for the flavor. No one has ever believed that the flavor of a cigarette is good. You do it for that sweet nick. You get that sweet, sweet nick. Anyway. But yeah, so, and apparently in the smoking blend, it is, now let me scroll a little bit through my notes because I put this at a later place, but it seems like I should have not done that. Hold on. I'm stupid. Where did I put it? Okay, I'm not sure where I put it, but basically, the flavor is said to be very reminiscent of vanilla also, or tonka, what's the difference between vanilla and tonka? Do you know?
I don't know. I'm in a vanilla bean, like, group.
What?
on Facebook.
What?
And I thought that I thought they were a type of vanilla bean. I thought that tonka beans were
It's like a type
beans.
of vanilla. Yeah.
I thought so, but I don't really know enough for sure. I joined there because I have dreams of ordering fresh beans and making extracts, but the only step I've taken thus far is joining because the order processing in this group looks very complicated.
Ooh.
So I've never done it.
I'm not one to judge. I'm a part of a group where everybody pretends they're ants. So,
That's awesome.
Anyway, this the smoking flavor is said to be reminiscent of vanilla, tonka beans, and some people even say like grass or sweet grass or like hay, kind of a sweet hay, with just a touch of an herbal, like a almost medicinal but in a good way undertone. Okay. If you're not a smoker or have no interest in that, which by the way, I do want to say, probably don't just smoke these leaves straight if you're putting it into like a smoking blend. As with most things, start with a small amount to see how it affects and if you like it, and then you can always build up to your level. But going in like ham 100% with anything is probably not going to be what you desire. But anyway, if you're not...
What is the name of this plant again?
Deer's tongue.
That's right. Okay.
If you're not into smoking, you can also use this in simmer pots. You can put it into incense. You can hang it fresh or grow it fresh around because it still carries the smell. It is fresher when it is bruised. And then, also if you do something like simmer it or something, obviously, but it will still have a nice little smell. Now, let's get into the metaphys. Traditionally, through the use of this plant in, let's see, what is it? That Florida-Georgia line. it was used for communication and eloquence because of the deer's tongue reference and the way it looked like that. It got to be known for something that you could carry on your body or put into spells, or I guess maybe not spells, but into traditional medicine and stuff like that to help be able to, God, I could use some of it right now, to be able to communicate effectively and to help your presentation and be able to kind of get exactly what you're trying to say across. And it was also used for divination and dream work. And I was like, this is strange to me because that seems like a little bit of a jump to go from, hey, this looks like a tongue, so let's use it in speaking, because that seems like it, makes sense. However, until I looked into using this as a honoring or using this to harness the energy of the deer. Did you know that the deer is like associated with intuition and psychic abilities? I never would have. No, I didn't know that. It doesn't seem like one of those animals that you would be like, yes, this is for talking to dead people, like a crow or something, because that's immediate.
No, I wouldn't think it with a deer, because with a deer, I just assume it's just rocketing in its sympathetic nervous system at all times.
Well,
freak out overdrive.
You're not wrong, actually, because it's kind of harvesting or distilling that ability to be attuned to your surroundings and to kind of distill this always awareness to really kind of hone these psychic abilities. And that includes the divination skills. Because deer are also tied into like lunar energies and gentleness and grace, there's a tie-in with death there, the moon and anything that carries an air of gracefulness, I think automatically gets a little bit assigned to death, but not like in the spooky way, but like in the ethereal kind of way, spirit talking kind of way. This is a part of life, and when we die, our bodies become the grass kind of way.
Yes.
So, yeah. So there's a history of use with deer tongue in talking to your dead people, which I really enjoy and wish I knew sooner. Anyway. Modernly, deer's tongue continues to be used for the same things, so a focus on dream work and psychic abilities, as well as harnessing deer energy, as well as communicating effectively. However, it's also is used judicial, winning your court arguments, which is always an interesting thing to see for me, because sometimes that does randomly pop up. And I know we have things like hydron and particular like uncrossings or road opener oils and stuff like that can help in that way. But this is also one of those to add into if you're perhaps working in law, or if you do have something to do that has you need to plead your case for in a legal sense. Carrying this on you, perhaps making an oil of it, burning it, doing some work with it in some way, can help you get your meaning across in a way that is clear and concise, and people understand your meaning. They take your meaning a little bit better. You can also use this plant for energy cleansing. So add it into your smoke cleansing bundles and stuff like that, because it does clear stagnant energies. It can help to push around anything that's just kind of grody. I wouldn't say that this blasts through and like dissolves negativity, but it's a nice little refresher, and I imagine it smells pretty good when it's burnt. So, hey, couldn't hurt to add it in there.
Right.
And lastly from my side of things anyway, big moontime energy. The deer's connection with the moon cycles and its association with, like, soft energy, goddess energy. The more we get into it, I don't really like to genderize things like this, but
I think it's just good to include all of the different terms, because there's some people that do, and I still do, on some things, like if that's what I'm going for, that's what I'm going for.
If you are looking for something to be a little bit more on the feminine side, if you're looking for the feminine and masculine energies, the things that include like intuition, mystery, grace, fertility, softness, that kind of thing. And if you are a lunar witch, this is also a good herb to venerate the moon, if you would like to do so, or just include in your moon rituals. Now, this next bit comes directly from hearthwisdom.com, where you can, of course, get you some deer's tongue herb. And they have written a little bit of the usage, some of the ideas that you can use, you can do with this plant, okay? They have here, dress a white skull candle with some clarity oil and deer's tongue to open up clear and positive communication with someone who is not speaking with you or hiding the truth. You can dress a justice candle in some court case oil and roll it in deer's tongue before a court date to ensure that you express yourself in a way to bring your best outcome.
Man, I like the court case ones.
I do too.
Because, like, that's just such a scary thing, and
you want it in your back pocket.
It's not necessarily always fair.
No, it's not. And a lot of times it's who presents themselves better, or whose case is presented better, or whatever. So to have that,
or who is perceived better too.
Yeah, to have that in your back pocket, you can burn some deer's tongue on a charcoal, dragon's blood resin, and let's see, what do they have? Lovage to create and open up a more loving communication with a romantic partner. And lastly, sprinkle deer's tongue around your environment to open up positive communication in your home or work. So if there's somebody out there you're struggling to communicate with, particularly in a work sense, because that fucking sucks, because not only do you have to figure out a way to get your point across, but you have to do it professionally, which sucks. I hate office speak. I hate it. Anyway, that's a good way to end. I'm going to end right there. But that's Dear's.
I hate office.
I hate office speak, brother. I hate it. It's so fucking, I hate it almost as much as I hate small talk. It's just bullshit. Can we all not act like we're all just going to, like, let's just, we all go home and take our pants off and bitch about each other. Why do we have to act like we don't?
Yeah, it is just forcing a bunch of people into a building together for 40 hours a week and just being like, y'all sort it out.
Yeah.
Hope it works.
I know that, like,
and that's why the office talk exists.
You can get your 40-hour work week done in probably 15 hours, but we're, be here anyway for the, what do they call it? The culture. Fuck off.
Yeah, the work culture.
Fuck off.
Isn't it great? Yeah, I don't know. I struggled with it. I did not do too well with it. I know some love an office. I am just too much of a curmudgeon, I think, in nature, by nature.
I like
to thrive in an office environment.
I like the option to go, to have a workspace that you can go into and do stuff.
That is nice to be able to go. I've had a job to where I've had 2 jobs to where I had flexed, where it was like I would come in a couple days a week and work from home a couple days a week. And I enjoyed that.
That's fine.
That worked for me.
However, I don't know, man. I just got a real big problem with, like, forcing people to be here for this bullshittery, fake-ass 40-hour work
I
week.
just have always gotten more done working from home.
Yeah, of course.
Big corporate, massive cubicle office. Nobody did any work in that building. I watched it.
Nobody did
anything.
Nobody has ever. Anytime I've had a job where I sat at a desk, 90% of my day was spent sweating about what I'm done. What am I supposed to do? I hope I don't get caught on, Facebook or whatever. God damn. Anyway, after that,
I'm going to talk to you about.
Aren't you
Pothos?
But before you do, what would be great to slide right between our topics, to just kind of nestle up between the cheeks of our topics. Listen, do you have a business or a product or a service that you think the WBAH community would like to hear about? Shoot us an email. We do advertising. Don't know if you caught it.
You book the ad. We give a look at what you're doing, whether it's like a service or a good, and then we talk about it. And so if you want to do that, if you want to advertise to the beans, beans advertising to beans. Bean to bean advertising.
Bean on bean action.
Yeah. Shoot us an email.
Yeah.
WBAHpodcast @gmail.com. See if we can work something out.
Okay. Now you're going to tell me about Pothos.
I'm going to talk to you about Pothos plants. So whether you know it or not, you've seen one of these guys. You've seen its little vines, whether it's in an office, like we were just talking about, oftentimes stubbornly, barely clinging to life because they refuse to die. Or maybe you've seen them in like their full-on majesty, when they've got like their long tendril vines just like coming down. Like sometimes you can see them in like nice public, like restaurants will have them all done up sometimes in their long, dangly, pretty ones. Like you've seen them before. They're the long hanging basket plant that grows the pretty green heart-shaped leaves. And sometimes they're spliced, with a little bit of like white or yellow or a paler green on the leaves. But they're like the house plant. You've seen one.
I've been struggling this entire time since you said you've seen one before to not be like, this is Sting. You've seen it before.
You've seen it before.
Haven't
you?
Okay.
This is a common first houseplant, and it for good reason. This is a very friendly first foray into plant parenthood. And really, too, like with how easy they are to propagate from each other, like from clippings, like you can just give them away. I mean, like anytime you got to trim yours, stick it in water, let them root, plant it. Look, there you go. You're going to do pothos. It's amazing. And I like, there are also a common, along with peace lilies and, caladiums, some types of corn plants and snake plants, they are a common funeral plant.
Oh.
It is not uncommon to see a pothos as an option for like a funeral arrangement instead of like giving flowers, sending a live plant. I like the live plants for funerals. I like, I don't know. I have a couple of funeral plants, and to me, they're kind of their own little. They're like, no, like oftentimes after a funeral, there's like a tremendous amount of arrangements and scent plants and flower vases and whatnot.
So you just take them?
It's like, yeah, people bought them as like. You don't like say, thank you for these flowers. Can I have them? Like, just assume they're yours.
No.
What is this?
That's what people do. They send you flower. That's what they send flower for, right? Is the funeral in the family.
Yeah, I know, but you can send whole plants. Like instead of a
yeah, I know. And
yes.
Then, and then what? You just take them from the family?
No, I'm saying I have funeral plants from funerals I have gone to. They're mine. They're from like... they were given to me post-funeral because I was there, and they're like, "Do you want some of these plants?"
Okay.
Like that's I didn't.
I thought you just meant you were like attending a funeral, and then at the end of it, you like walk by the casket, give your last respects, and on your way out, you snag a pothos.
No, but I do like the concept of giving them as funeral gifts,
party favors,
versus flowers that die. Because like I have two funeral plants, and it's a corn plant and it's a peace lily, and just when I work with them, I like to. They're kind of an ancestor altar to me, like even if you're not like going super duper deep with it and like trying to connect, just at any time you care for that plant, you missed it, or you clean out the leaves that kind of need to be cleared out and trim it. Maybe you're thinking on that person. And it's just like a moment of reverence and just reflection. And that's what I like that. I think that plants are a really good thing to give for a passing live plants because, it's just like, it's a way to check in and have like that living reminder. And I guess, of course, it could be a little pressuring if you're not confident in your plant parenting skills and you let it die. I don't know. I like it. I think it's a nice little thing. I like my little funeral plants. I do take care of them a little better than the other plants though, for that reason, because I don't want them to die and then I feel super guilty about it.
Yeah. Seems like bad vibes.
Yeah. So right up at the top, pothos plants, it seems, are toxic to dogs and cats.
Great. Don't let your cats
it can make them sick if they eat a bunch. I don't know if that goes for birds and reptiles too. That's always harder to find. I can't imagine it's great. I don't know. But don't let your cat suck on it. Don't spray your bird in general.
Bird.
They're good air purifiers, though. Even though they themselves can make some animals sick, they do a really good job cleaning the air out. One of those things being like formaldehyde was an example I saw given. But they're good air cleaners.
Formaldehyde?
So pothos plants. What?
Formaldehyde?
Yeah, they'll clear like formaldehyde out of
formaldehyde. Funerals.
Oh wow! Yeah. Look, it all comes full circle. Gross. I hate that smell. Ugh, formaldehyde's so gross.
I don't mind it.
I don't like it. I loved like dissecting things when we did it. Those were my favorite days in the whole world. But the smell always just, I hated it so much. I hated it so much.
Do high school kids still dissect things, or is that a no-no?
I don't know.
Certainly not. I don't
know.
Certainly not cats.
Those are my most memorable days. We didn't do cats. They were done doing cats, at least in my school by the time I was
Your brother
in high school.
did cats.
But we did cow eyeballs, which were amazing. Rustin did cats, but really they did the last of the cats.
That's strange because I'm older than him. And I think probably a grade before. I was usually like a grade before him, I think. Because I think I was
just say the cats that he and his class used were very old.
Brother,
and at the back
I know. We can't tell it now because it is a triggering as hell story, but
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Continue. I never dissected a cat is what I'm saying. I did a frog.
Yes. I did frogs. I did a cow's eye, which was the most memorable and cool fucking day of science class I ever had.
How do you do an eyeball? Because aren't eyeballs, like, they're deceptively hard?
Big tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, basically, like, jabbing an X-Acto knife in this thing and, like, having to really press hard and then go through it. But it was beautiful on the inside because, like, the back of the eye looked like mother of pearl.
Ooh.
And that's, like, what creates the eye shine that we see in a lot of animals. Like, in the dark, they have, like, that retinal, like, mother of pearl
Cat
shit going.
eye
It was so cool. Like, we took the lens out and the lens, like, blew up words on a page. It was the coolest
sick.
thing. It was so awesome.
Did you ever do a
it was
squid?
so cool. I loved it. No, we didn't, but I did do a sheep's brain.
Whoa!
But that was like just kind of a lump of gray.
Yeah, yeah. When we did a squid, I don't know if this is part of it. It feels a little macabre now, but it was the coolest thing in the moment. We had to find the ink sac, and we also had to find their little spine, their little plasticky, flexy spine. And one of the things is we had to take the spine out, dip it in the ink sac, and write something with the spine. Because that's apparently, like, people would do that.
Sure. It's awesome.
I mean, whatever. Okay, there you go.
No, I mean, like, yeah, barring the obvious, like, things that suck about this, but, like, man, if you're in science class, I'm so bored in school all the time. If I get told one day in science class, listen, take this out of this invertebrate, or whatever this is. I guess if it has a spine, they aren't invertebrate. I don't know. Take this out of this animal, dip it in its own ink, and write with it.
Fucking metal.
Damn. I mean, yeah, that's just like, yeah!
Oh, hell yeah.
Man.
Oh, yeah, it was a fun day.
Guitars are screaming in the background. Just power. Yeah, sir. I'm in it. I'm doing it.
And then you get a little older and you're like, oh, jeez.
Yeah. I do it right now.
I do. I
love dissecting shit.
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay, now that we've upset everyone. The emails we're going to get after this one.
Oh, yeah, it's my turn. All right. I forgot we were talking about my stuff. I got really on thinking about that. Okay. So, wow. Here we go. So the scientific name, Latin name, is Epiprimnum aureum.
EpiPen.
So it's what it reminds me of. Yeah, like epinephrine. It's a tropical vine, native to the Solomon Islands was one place that I saw specifically as like the origin point, but it's in the native to the South Pacific. And but there was other locations as well, and in like one it was like I was on Wiki and where it said it originated was like citation needed, and so it's like I don't exactly know for certain if it was the Solomon Islands, but
or somebody just was like, that sounds right.
Sure, yeah. And vine is the right word because some of these dudes can grow to like 60 feet long in the wild. Like that's long, man. That's like really long. And so pothos plants reside in the family Araceae, similar to yours today. And another one that I feel like we mention all the time. And we've got some fun AKAs here.
Good.
Okay. So we've got some fun other names. And okay, so for these first two, they're very similar. And I don't know which one it is, but I found them both separately, but right after each other. Like saw one on one site and then found one on another site. So I don't know if one's a typo or if these are two individual names.
I'm going to pretend they're individual.
So the first one, which sounds really cool, is Hunter's Rove with a V.
Okay.
Rove. R-O-V-E, right?
Cool.
Hunter's Rove.
Yeah. Right?
It's like, oh, that's cool. That's cool. And so then I looked, and on another site, I saw that it was called Hunter's Robe. Like R-O-B-E.
I kind of makes sense. I believe it. If you're trying to like...
I think it makes sense. You know, they're very coveragey. They have a lot of vines.
And if you're hunting, you want to blend in. So perhaps you put this around you.
Drape them on you. Yeah.
Hunter's robe.
Hunter's robe. There's Devil's Vine.
Sick.
Which is fun.
Sick.
And also Devil's Ivy, which is even cooler. We have Ceylon Creeper.
Okay.
And lastly, Money Plant. Sometimes it is called. So what's interesting about these plants is that in their native environment, they're climbers. They're creepers and climbers rather than danglers, like how we have them a lot in like their baskets and whatnot. So they will cover a forest floor, sometimes to a fault. And the way that their root system is, it's an aerial root system. It allows for climbing. So eventually they'll like cover the tree trunks. They'll cover everything. Sometimes in a way that's a problem.
Wow.
And
get good.
You can train them to climb upwards if you want to. Sometimes you can just get them this way already potted, so they're not always just in a dangly hanging basket. Sometimes they have like one of those little moss poles, that they can kind of like climb up and do that. So you can train them to climb upwards. Generally in like the home environment, not like their native environment, but like just like inside or whatever, they can make it to 10 feet long or so, but maybe even a little bit longer, but that's still pretty big. 10 feet's long. You'd have to have that lifted up pretty high.
That's a lot of feet.
Or down low to climb. Yeah, it'd be pretty cool though.
What if you were 10 feet tall?
I would hate that, and I don't think I'd live very long.
Yeah, you'd probably die.
They say, yeah, I don't think I'd have very, and I'd probably have a lot of blood clots.
Are you gonna live for a really long time because you're short?
I don't think,
as someone said online,
works that way.
You were weirdly short.
Weirdly short.
Weirdly short.
Weirdly short.
Whoa.
So nobody said that about me. They said it about somebody about as tall as me, though. So they basically said it about me.
They said it about you.
And I said it about me. They meant it about me.
Yeah.
Specifically. So these plants, like, again, as we've mentioned, these are tropical plants, right? So let's do what we've done for these houseplant episodes, and let's take ourselves to the environment that these plants like, right? Well, guess what? This one's a lot like all of the other ones we have talked about.
Moist.
So come back to it then. So we've got a tropical environment. And yes, these plants, first off, they have a survival will that is very admirable. They're very hard to kill. But it is nice to cater to our plants to make their existence a little better, so they're not just like living their whole life in the equivalent of just like Deadpool and that air chamber that sucks so much. Like they're not just struggling forever. They get to thrive a little bit too. It's just good to know at least a couple things to make them feel a little better, so they're not just miserable forever. I think about that air chamber all the time.
That just instantly gave me a headache.
It's so bad.
I'm so glad I can breathe right now. Holy shit.
Let's go to that forest floor. Okay. We're in the South Pacific. It's humid down there, guys. Mm-hmm. It's humid on this forest floor. And so we know, okay, this plant's probably going to like it. It's going to like some humidity over a dry environment. So maybe like a little mist here and there will make it happy. Maybe if it's sitting right where the AC vent blows, maybe we'll move that because that's just going to dry it out. It's not going to be ideal. It wants a good, warm kind of, or at least, humid kind of environment. And maybe we can also recall that tropical forest soil kind of sucks. It's like it's void of nutrients and not nearly as fertile as you would think when you think about like, oh, it's a rainforest. It's like, no, it's actually like kind of barren. And why it's such a problem to have it clear cut, because it doesn't just come back. It's like a result of a very balanced system. But because of that, you have a vine that can do a lot with a little, as is a lot of jungle plants. And rainforest soil, while getting a lot of moisture, it drains well. And you get that as well with this plant. It likes moist soil, but it likes to drain well if you have it in dirt. And you can add some extra drainage and aeration to your soil if you think it needs it by putting some perlite in there. Perlite, which are those little white styrofoam thingies that are in, they look like styrofoam. They're not actually styrofoam, but you see it in potting soil. It's the white little crushy. It's perlite. So what's really interesting about perlite that I didn't know until within the last year or so, really, or even I guess since getting into gardening and planting, it's a mineral. And while it looks like foam, and for the longest time I thought it was, it's not. It's actually a volcanic glass.
Oh, I thought it was foam.
Yeah, that I want to talk about it at some point because perlite is really interesting. There's a lot about it that's neat, especially for such a mundane thing. The little white puffies that you see in soil. But in adding it to potting soil, it increases the aeration. It's also good for water retention. So it's like you'll have soil that drains well, but it still retains moisture, and so it's like this good, moist, but well draining environment, which can be really good for plants like this. This is a climbing vine. So that means that there's going to be variations in sunlight that it can handle, because this plant can span a very large area. And if we think of the forest floor, we see a modeled patch of sun, modeled patches of sun here and there that are breaking through the canopy. And so you have indirect light and occasionally these patches of sun that will break through, that shift and move around. And that's really kind of what the plant likes. That's what you're working with here. And it can handle a variety of different sunlight. However, full direct sun for like a large part of the day, like if you have some direct sun that comes in like the afternoon at sunset for just a little bit, like that's probably all right. But if you have it like in full sun, it's going to get burned or it'll at least get kind of like bleached out looking. The plant will struggle. And it kind of, it can handle the low light, but it likes getting some sun. Ideally, conditions are bright, indirect light, but it can take some sunbeams a little bit throughout the day. But it can make it in an office, under the fluorescent lights. But maybe if you want to take it out an hour or two, or take it home and let it sit all weekend, maybe in a brighter place to get like some good light, you can, just to help it thrive. So again, that it's not living in the air chamber of misery. Its whole life.
I almost forgot about it.
Yeah, I did that just for you. So we have after the scene that we've described, we have a tropical plant that likes humidity. It likes moist but well-draining soil. It doesn't require really a ton of feeding. Like you can still fertilize this plant, especially during the growing season when it's not dormant in winter. And it's really, especially since it's not known to bloom at all, really the reason for this is interesting and it's kind of a bit complicated for me. So I don't exactly understand what exactly is going on here, but it seems that pothos plants are like kind of missing some sort of gene or hormone needed to make them flower. So they don't really flower on their own very much, if at all. But like if you spray them with this hormone, they will. Oh. But it needs help. Yeah. Huh. So plants they just need a hand. Yeah. That said, after all of that, they are versatile. They want to be treated well, but unfortunately for them and fortunately for you, they will settle for being treated a good bit less than what they would consider ideal.
Good.
Pothos plants are really good for beginners for multiple reasons. Their iron survival will being a very notable one. But along with that, they're responsive. They'll talk to you with plenty of time to prevent a full-on death. Like they'll warn you if they're not feeling good. And yeah, they're not like some plants. Like I swear I've had succulents before to where like at night before going to bed, it looks normal and I'll come out for breakfast and it's melted. Yeah. It's just melted overnight into a pile of goo. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, I hate this. I hate succulents so much. But this isn't like that. You get some warning there. And oftentimes it might be starting at kind of like the soil level, like the base, and like the leaves start losing at the base and like towards the tip, you just get some warning. And when they're not feeling good and they can respond. And when they're doing really well, they're growing and they're growing really, really fast. And again, when they're sick, they show you signs of improvement too. Like if whether it's that they needed more water or they needed more or less light or they need to be in a more humid environment or something like that, they generally respond to the change really quickly and will like let you know if you pay attention to them. Like, I'm doing better. Thank you. Which is really helpful when you're learning plants. You know, like if you're not familiar with the more subtle signs of your plants and keeping plants, it's nice to have this wide berth in which you can kind of learn in, and you won't just kill the plant very, very easily.
Plus, it's just
it will work with you. It is. And Pothos plants can really, they have some longevity. They can live a long time with proper care, well over a decade, multiple decades, some people have reported. And at that point, it's a family member to me.
Shit.
That's a long time.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine having a plant for 17 years and then it dies?
No. I was really upset when my Majesty palms that I had for 3 years died in the freeze in the house. That bummed me out because like they were 3 years old and it was like that was a long time.
Yeah.
You know? So no, that would bother me a lot. You can get really creative where you want to put these guys. That's one of the things that makes these a great plant too for the house, because they're great decoration and they can handle so many different lighting arrangements that you can really play with them a bit, including putting them in the shower. So if you have one of those big fun fancy showers that have like enough room to hang plants in, one, I'm jealous of you, and two, Pothos do good hanging in showers, and not saying like you're hanging them in the way of the water, because that would be problematic for a host of reasons, but like just kind of there in the space, and they're taking the humidity. A friend of mine has like this magazine level bathroom and she has a Pothos in her shower, and I think about it all the time. It's so nice.
You know, I once heard someone in a video, it was like a video review for some resort, because I was, you know, pretending I had money. You ever do that? You ever just like look at things?
Dude, Hunter and me were looking at beach houses to buy the other day because we were watching that stupid fucking show. And we were like, you know what? Let's dream for 45 minutes real quick. Let's just see. This one's fun. We could do this.
And then you get to sit there and you get to act like you have, and then you can scroll through these like $2 million homes and be like, I don't really like the color of that one.
I wouldn't do it this way. This was my house.
This has one too many bathrooms. But I was doing that, and they were doing a tour of this resort room, and it had one of those big fuck off showers. And the girl in the video, she was just like, "Look at this," and she called it a porn shower. She's like, "Look at this porn shower," and it seared itself into my my brain. And anytime there's a big ass, somebody has one of those big ass showers, to me it's like
it's a porn shower.
Oh, it's a porn shower, and it makes sense.
Yeah, because I mean, like, she's technically not wrong.
I mean, and I don't know what context she meant it in, and I don't care. It's a porn
I think
shower.
she means that if, like, in all of the stereotypical shower porn scenes, you're gonna need, you got that big open glass shower.
Big shower. Push your boobies up on.
Yeah, you got to have a few characteristics of that shower, the porn shower. And most big fancy showers also equate to being porn showers because they tick those boxes too.
I mean, that's what I mean. I'm like, that's, it's like, are we talking literal, or, when people say food porn, which is, don't say things like that.
I mean, it makes sense in the literal way. Like, it's a porn shower. If shower has the space to create tangible porn, it's a porn shower.
It is a porn shower.
Yeah.
Good to know. So you have a friend with a porn shower.
Glad we cracked it.
Yes.
And apparently these guys can be big time invasive species in tropical environments in which they have spread to, and have like no real natural stopper, nothing's eating them. Or nothing's stopping, nothing's competing, and so they can just choke out basically everything, blanketing whole forest floors and trees, like just taking over.
Yikes.
And that's a pretty good segue into the metaphysical perspective of this plant, because right out of the gate, we've got endurance here. This plant's got miles, and it clings to existence. Not only can it eke by in an office under fake fucking lights that give people anxiety, it can also blanket an entire forest. Like, it wants to endure. This plant wants that. And if you oh, if you just get it out of that office for a couple of weeks and set it loose, who knows what can happen? You know, it wants to go.
It wants to be found.
It wants to be free.
It's got to be free.
That having a physical manifestation of endurance can be helpful in times when it is needed.
Like in a pouring shower.
So similar to how I was kind of I mean, like, okay, how nice though.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and say that this little ritual that I'm about to talk about here, just the same thing is happening while you're taking place or you're showering in your nice porn shower.
Okay. Yes.
Having a steam moment with your pothos plant, having a talk. And so, yeah, it's nice. And so similar to how I was talking about when you care for, you know, maybe a plant that you have that came from a funeral of a loved one and you were gifted this plant post-funeral and you have these moments of checking like, oh, I'm going to take care of my plant. I'm going to miss it. Oh, hi, it's nice to reflect on so-and-so who has passed. Similar vein here is if you have this plant that's like whole vibe is, I'm going to make it. I'm going to endure. We can remember that that's like what these plants are all about. And it's easy when we have these mundane house plants that we see all the time, like peace lilies and pothos plants, to think that they have some grit to them, but they do. There's a lot of grit to these plants. And in nourishing this plant, in caring for our pothos plant, trimming away those dead leaves, wiping the dust off the leaves, we're nourishing our own endurance in this ritual, you know, like just taking care of this plant, almost creating a visual representation of our own state of endurance. You know, whether it's that we're working towards something that's kind of continuing or requiring a lot of continued effort, whether it's like a course of study or whatever. It's just like, dude, I don't know if you've ever dusted your plants before, like wiped the dust off of the leaves, especially like the waxy type plants. That is a really... it's just a very bonding experience with a plant for me, but like doing it on something that you have is like, this is my endurance and I wipe the dust from it to let it just shine forth. It's like, that's pretty intense. That's a pretty cool ritual, to do. And you're bonding with this plant as well, but you're visualizing your own kind of grit and internal like metal. Getting shined up a little bit more too, which is nice. And I guess again, you know, you might be like concerned if it dies, you know, but I don't really think it's that big of a deal. You know, this is an energetic practice and I don't think you're going to crash and burn because your plant dies. I just see it as a good exercise of checking in with ourselves.
It also,
you know, checking in
could be, if you want to look at it this way, you know, that whole thing about like plants kind of sucking up the negative energy, like taking the hit before you do, basically.
It took the hit before you do. It's your warning sign.
Yeah, you could be like, oh, maybe maybe I need to look into the, you know, if you specifically like gave that plant a purpose for something, maybe somebody is trying to wear you down, you know, or maybe you're just getting worn down, and that it could be like a, you know, to put a positive spin on the death of a plant. Yeah. And I just think it's to try again. You know, part of enduring is to endure. If something happens, try again. You know, that's the whole practice in itself. And I just feel like sometimes magic and manifestation relies on us setting up these little things for ourselves that, like, at least for me, you know, like, to just do magic throughout the day in very mundane activities. And so it kind of keeps the magic alive. It's like, I need to, as someone who has a lot of plants, I need to take care of my plants. But this plant I can kind of see as my manifestation for this. And this plant, I can have a connection with so-and-so. And it kind of adds magic into a really mundane task and bonds me with these plants too, which I think it has helped me become a better plant parent. Forgiveness is a big energy surrounding pothos plants. Forgiveness. Oh, God.
It's also mirrored in their forgiving nature. You can stop them from dying. They give you a chance. You know, they're not, what? Oh, in my notes, instead of writing succulents, I wrote cussulents. I don't know if that was just my subconscious and how I feel about them.
What the cuss?
with the cuss. But again, like they're not like succulents to where they might just melt on you if they've just decided they've had enough.
I'm done. Goodbye.
These plants are a bit more forgiving in nature, and this can go both ways. And you can look at forgiveness with this plant in two different ways. So forgiveness, for one, that's all I can think of anytime I hear the word. Like not even in this context, but any context.
I hate it.
I wish it wasn't. So forgiveness takes practice. It is an exercise. It is something to work on. And that goes both ways. So for one, if you find that you're someone that can hold on real tight to a grudge, forever.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe, it can be a hard pill to swallow to be vulnerable and trust that forgiveness will be okay. When it's probably less risky to just, let's keep this grudge in place. It's not hurting anybody.
Yeah.
It's keeping things the way they are. And there's the opposite with forgiveness too, in which you can be overly forgiving, which can backfire on us and take from us in many ways. And in caring for the pothos, there's kind of a metaphor that you can look at, like you can trim the vines to encourage the plant to bush out more. So say that you have a pothos and it's got, a lot of these long, wispy vines, right? It's not very thick, but it's got a lot of long vines, but you can trim these vines. You don't have to cut them all the way off, but cut the length, and that will encourage the plant to bush out from the base and create more vines that are maybe not reaching out as far. They're not like spanning such a range for what's acceptable in a range of forgiveness, but there's more of it. There's more of the plant to go around because of it, so it's like in making that trim and dialing back what is usually willing to be and this is if you're one that might be a bit too forgiving, remembering that sometimes you do need to kind of cut back a little bit, and that act of cutting back kind of helps nourish and grow you as a person and as a, in this case, a plant, and not be stretched so thin. So
like butter spread over too much bread.
Oh God, but how delicious. How delicious. But that's kind of disappointing when you don't have enough butter to bread ratio.
If I have to scrape my butter in a way that I don't have, I'm mad about it.
Yeah. I don't want to have to work it into every little air pocket. I just want to be able to slather it on, so you've got like a layer there.
Gimme.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, what are we even doing here?
Yeah. I'm not fucking about with my butter.
So admittedly, I'm more in the first camp. Like I'm one to hold a grudge, because if like my trust is tainted, it's a long, hard road to get that back. So I might just stay away from you over here. Thanks. I'm good. But that's something that I'm working on, because there's a middle ground oftentimes, and there's healing to be found in opening up and just maybe just thinking forgiveness could be soothing, could be nice. It's a practice, just like anything else, and the energy of Pothos can be utilized in spell work around this. Maybe you utilize a cutting in water during the spell, and you just have it there on the altar, and it's getting blessed, or you have it by where you do your candle spell, or however it is that you like to do magic, and then plant it afterwards once it's rooted in the water to symbolize this growth of forgiveness that you're wanting to start embracing, or kind of this cultivation of forgiveness, even if you feel your forgiveness tends to maybe reach a little farther than you would like it to. So these plants, they can grow very quickly, in many inches a month. Like you can get like a foot a month if these things are really vibing, and especially, and if it's in their growing season.
Vibrating.
So they've been associated with abundance as well, which makes sense, because like they can keep on trucking, especially when we've seen how aggressive they can be in certain ecosystems in which they like take it over, because the instinct of this plant is to prosper. And that's just kind of the last little wrap up there. That's Pothos plant. But we have endurance and forgiveness, prosperity. Those are the big three words around that there. But yeah, it's your Pothos plant. Give your Pothos a little nod in appreciation.
A nod. Give it a nod.
A nod.
Well, give it an old nod.
It needs it. I mean, it forgives you for not doing that to it ever, but it will appreciate it if you do.
Every single time you said forgiveness, it was a struggle for me.
Dude, I think, you failed at the struggle because I feel like I heard through my headphones you said it every time.
Listen, not every time. I gave it a break. Every once in a while. But it's hard. How dare you bring it up and then rob me of the ability to do it?
I know. It's true. It's true. You're right. You're right. And when you're right, you're right.
You know what else
you know what?
Oh.
Can you forgive me?
I'm looking at my Pothos plant and he's shaking his head no.
Well, that's very unpothos of it. You might need to set it out in some light.
It's an imposter. Feel better. It's an imposter.
Imposter.
Wow. Huh. There's something there. We'll work with that. You know what else? You know what else we're going to work with?
What are we going to
We're going to work with Mark in the Park for this review of the Witch Bitch Amateur Hour.
Okay.
From author Mark in the Park. Entitled...
Okay, I figured.
Love My Dallas Stallion Witches.
Yeah! Okay.
I am an 18-year-old brujo, and I listen to y'all while I work out. And I think it's cool that there's a much larger witch community here than expected in the DFW area. Love the wisdom, and love all types of witches. Thank you very much, Mark in the Park.
Thank you. I like being called a stallion.
Are you kidding me? A stallion?
Yeah. Call me a stallion anytime. I am down with that. I like it.
Wow.
Okay. Listen, all of you.
Hey, all you
fucking people, get your simp caps on.
Get ready to simp.
Because tomorrow.
Oh God!
We're doing something new.
Sorry. I let the spirit take me.
I'm ready to burst.
Uh-huh.
I'm ready to explode.
Yeah.
Have
you watched it yet?
Steering away from Farmer Wants a Wife because that is over.
Yeah, well, that was some season 1
shit.
to me. We're on that season 2 shit now.
Simply Cap. Season 2.
That's on our Patreon.
We're talking Queen Charlotte.
Oh.
And I can't wait.
Mm-hmm.
Join us. It's a good time. If you don't think you're going to care about something, listen, we'll make you care. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was surprised at how many people were like, listen, I didn't even watch Farmer Wants a Wife, but I just bless you.
It came out of nowhere.
Whoa. Yeah, join us. That's $5 at the $5 level. $5 a month for 4, sometimes 5, depending on how many Thursdays are in the month. Episodes of Simp Cap.
Every damn week.
And that is patreon.com/wbahpodcast. We also have a Facebook group, Witch Amateur Hour. We have an Instagram at Witch Bitch Amateur Hour. Twitter at Bitch Hour. What else, man? We have an OnlyFans that we're going to figure out what to do with next.
One of these days.
Yeah.
There was just something that I thought about and then, I immediately forgot. Leave us a review.
Yeah.
We haven't hounded y'all on that for a while, but if you could do that and you've never done it before, that would be great. On Spotify, it takes a second to rate. It's very easy to do. And like the whole like review, like, and subscribe thing is irritating, but like we live in a world of algorithms.
Smash that like button.
Yeah, and we also live in a world of 80 bajillion podcasts. So you doing that, reviewing us, taking just a second to do the quick rating, or subscribing, which is also really convenient. I've since on Spotify started subscribing to all of my favorite podcasts, and now I just get them pushed notification to me when they come out. And I don't know why I waited so long to do that. Also, go ahead and if you don't have it, it's worth having the Patreon app because that makes it way easier to listen to all your Patreon shit and watch the videos, and it's just way more user-friendly than dicking with the website. Just if you've never done it, you're better. It's It's better about making sure you don't miss your notifications. But anyway, that's our sales pitch. That's what we got for you.
Yeah.
That's what we got for you this week. We're back next week with a big fuck off spooky.
Send us your spooky stories. It's the next episode, bro. Send us an email with your spooky story in it, and just make sure that you put the word spooky somewhere in the subject. I don't care if you say spooky-sode. I don't care if you say this is spooky. I don't care if it just says the word spooky. Make sure you put spooky in the subject line so we can find it. And I'm ready. I'm ready to get spooky. Macy, you said you have a chonker of a topic?
Brother, I threw some cash down on a book that I have had my eyes on for years now.
Whoa.
And the time I've been waiting. I've been waiting until this moment
for a book like you.
Yeah. And I have it in my possession now to do this topic because I was not going to do this topic until I had this book. And I have it now, and I'm ready. It's going to be long. I don't know how I'm going to wheel it in.
I think I might have just figured out what it is. But she refuses to tell me
afterwards.
She refuses to tell me. And you know what? I'm not even going to say what my guess is because I don't want you to tell me if I'm right. So join us next time. I will, in a week's time, I guess I got to try to put something together that's going to match yours at least a little bit. You've given me homework. So, we'll see you next time on the Witch Bitch Spooky Hour.
Goodbye.
Get
out of here.
Go.
Get out of here.
Go on.
Go
sniff
go
a
play
Pothos.
outside. Yeah.
Go,
wow.
Find a deer's tongue.
Oh, go find it.
Smoke it.
Just go find it.
Find it.
Hopefully still attached to the deer.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
pull it out of its mouth a little bit. Don't pull it out, but just kind of pull it out of its mouth and give it a little kiss, and then let the deer go on its way.
Yeah. Gross. Okay. I'm done with this.
Goodbye. Look at us.
Yeah, synced.
We're in sync with each other. We're in the sink.
Oh.
We're trapped inside of a sink. Let us out.
Let that sink in.